I am a Blender artist, and in this video I decided to make the most cursed Ikea furniture I could come up with and make a mini commercial for each piece. But before I could curse anything, I had to make it, and this turned out to be much harder than I expected. I started this journey with the humble chair. I made a basic shape out of a mirrored plane and added some thickness with a solidify modifier and a little bit of edge smoothing with a bevel. Then I made the arms by making the rough shape and using subdivision to smooth it and loops to get it roughly shaped how I wanted. For the buttons on the back of the chair, I used a trick I've shown on this channel a few times. I subdivided the section where the buttons will go and used the poke faces option multiple times to create this star geometry around each button. Then, using Ctrl-Shift-B, I beveled the center vertices into circles and used the edit mesh tools to make the circles perfect circles and extruded them inward and then back outward to make the buttons themselves. Finally, I grabbed the edges around all the fabric joints and separated them. Then I converted them into curves and used the curve bevel feature to make them into fabric piping. But before I got too far, I had to come up with how I wanted to curse it. I thought about it for a day or so until I was driving a side-by-side down a bumpy road, and then it hit me. What if instead of a common rocking chair, it was a hopping chair, jumping up and down constantly while you tried to watch TV in peace or read? But how would it work? After a bit of research, I decided the most logical method would be a pneumatic linear actuator with some built-in shock absorbing. They could be concealed in the feet so that the feet get longer, propelling the chair off the ground. So I got back to work, modeling extendable legs with concealed cylinders. Then, I added materials to my chair, and it was finished. Okay, it's done, but what about making it work? I scratched my head about how to do this for a while. I thought about animating it manually, but I didn't think I could get the look I wanted, so instead, I opted to do it with rigid bodies. This took some trial and error, but I finally got something that worked. It uses rigid body springs in the legs and an animated mechanism to push the entire chair down and release it, making the chair jump in the air like a giant pogo stick. But I needed a living room set to put the chair in, and I don't have my entire life to make one. After all, I have 2 more commercials to make after this. Luckily, I have the N-Gon add-on, which has a huge library of furniture to choose from, including ready-made setups, so making this room was as simple as picking what I wanted and dropping it in. I went ahead and linked that in the description for anyone who might find it useful. With my set finished, I got to filming, and here's the finished result. Let's face it, your rocking chair is boring, but it doesn't have to be. Our newest chair, the Hope Stool, will have you nodding enthusiastically with excitement. See the world from a new perspective, add some excitement to reading, make movies an interactive experience, and more. Available now at your local retailer. And remember, do not diverge from the arrow path under any circumstances, no matter what the voices tell you. Hopstol is a registered trademark of the Ikea Corporation. Hopstol should not be used while pregnant, elderly, or under the age of 16. Purchase of Hopstol constitutes a binding legal agreement with the Ikea Corporation that the customer understands the risk of traumatic brain injury, brain bleed, and death. I was pretty happy with the chair commercial, so I moved on to a bigger project, a bed. I started by looking at some references and making the base. For that, I just used simple planes, extruded them, and then added some bevel to give it shape. As I worked, I thought again about the curse. No, not the 2023 Nathan Fielder TV series, although I haven't stopped thinking about that basically since I saw it. But in this case, I'm referring to how I'm going to curse this bed. I did some Googling, and it turns out there are already a variety of relatively cursed beds out there.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And despite being quite disturbing in some cases, they weren't over the top enough for me. And I thought about it for a while, and it finally hit me. I want a bed that will wake me up in the morning. Violently. But how? I landed on having a giant hydraulic ram under the bed that would flip up the entire frame and mattress, catapulting me out of the bed and onto the floor. I built a simple ram to fit under the bed with some concentric cylinders, and I made bolts to give it realism by just modifying some hexagonal circles that I put in, and then I set about rigging it. For this, I used a simple lock track constraint rig. Each side of the hydraulic tracks a target parented to the other side, so when I pivot the bed, the cylinder extends automatically. For the blanket, I used a cloth simulation with the mattress and me set as collision objects. But what about me? Well, after some trial and error, I found the Ragdoll Tools add-on. I put a link to that in the description too. And basically what that lets you do is turn any armature into a rigid body ragdoll and then parent the armature to that ragdoll. And it means you can fling your characters around your scene however you want, just like you should be flinging your cursor at the subscribe button. Anyway, this worked out great, and it let me simulate the armature without a whole lot of effort. With all that wrapped up, I cued the music, made another room, thank you again, N-Gon, and shot my second commercial. Missed your alarm? Late for the job interview you weren't going to get anyway? Well, now there's a solution, and it's called the Catapult Bot. With an intelligent AI connection to your phone or alarm clock, simply set what time you want to wake up, and the bed will do the rest.
You are now awake.
Available now at your local megastore. And remember, the meatballs are not made from lost customers. Catapult bed is a registered trademark of the Evil Ikea Corporation. All rights reserved. The Evil Ikea Corporation does not take responsibility for any injury to persons or pets caused by our products. The purchase of a product constitutes a signed release agreeing to waive your right to a trial should grievous injury or death occur. The meatballs are not made from customers as a registered advertisement for the Evil Ikea Corporation and does not constitute a binding contract. The meatballs will be 100% customer free. Customer find and release fees may apply. For my third and final product, I decided to make a coffee table. But how should it be cursed? Figuring this one out was the easiest of the three. What is something bad about coffee tables that almost everyone has experienced? Banging your shins on them. So I designed a table that will seek out your shins and destroy them. Like any good product, I'm trying to have the functionality inform the design. The table itself I made out of extruded planes and stretched cylinders. Remember people, primitives are usually the answer. But the table needs to move, and I wanted to use spherical wheels so the table could have full 4 axes of motion as well as 360 degrees of rotation. To make this work, I created a claw-like clasp that holds a spherical wheel. Then I modeled a motor that mounts into the clasp with a lower transmission that lets it drive the ball in 2 different directions. But what good is motion if the table can't see? So to solve this problem, I looked into the self-driving car industry. But instead of hitting people on accident like Teslas, I wanted to hit them on purpose. So I made LiDAR units that mount to the frame. And to make these, I just extruded simple cylinders and extruded a few of the faces to create these heat sink ridges that you see on a lot of LiDAR units like these Velodyne ones. So now the table can seek and destroy, but I wanted to pack a punch. So I made a simple set of studs, like on a studded belt, and put instances of them around a steel belt, which I ran around the outside of the upper part of the table. Then I put some materials on it from my material library, and it was ready to go. For the first time in history, elegant home security is possible with Ben Crescenda board. Simply enable security mode from the companion app and whitelist your face in its AI database. When the Ben Crescenda board sees a person it does not recognize, it will go into deterrence mode, locking onto the target's shins and accelerating rapidly. Our engineers spent months analyzing hundreds of Razor scooter shin strikes to create the deterrence band. Made from a studded steel titanium alloy, the deterrence band ensures that a targeted individual receives maximum deterrence, making them unlikely to commit crimes in your house again. For elegant and functional peace of mind, pick one up today at your local retailer. And remember, if you see a mannequin in the store, that isn't a mannequin. Ben Crescenda board is a registered trademark of the Evil Ikea Corporation. Users accept responsibility for whitelist errors and omissions. The Evil Ikea Corporation does not accept responsibility for misuse of the security device. The user accepts that beta updates may make the device sentient for short periods of time, leading to erratic behavior. The user further understands that the device may scan them and upload their likeness at any time. The customer understands that the Evil Ikea Corporation does not and has never used mannequins in its locations, and any sighting of a mannequin constitutes a moral and personal failure on their part. Data rates may apply to likeness uploads. I say for this one, guys, we like to have fun on this channel, so if you have a suggestion for what I should do next, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think. And as always, remember, donate to the Blender Fund and never stop learning.